Welcome to NHK Newsline. I'm Ramin Melagard in Tokyo. We begin this hour with the global outbreak of monkeypox. Brazil and Spain have confirmed their first deaths following 5 fatalities earlier in Africa. Brazil's health ministry said on Friday that a 41-year-old man had died the day before in the southeastern state of Minas Gerais. His immune system had been weakened by lymphoma. Spain's health authorities also announced the country's first death on Friday. It's reportedly the first in Europe. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says Spain has confirmed the second highest number of cases in the world after the United States. The CDC says there had been more than 3,700 cases in Spain as of Thursday. The World Health Organization says over 18,000 people have now been infected in 78 countries. And Ukraine says Odessa and 2 other ports are back in business and ready to load grain onto ships for the first time since Russia imposed its Black Sea blockade. Officials opened a center in Istanbul to oversee the safe passage of ships. The Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky visited a port in the Odessa region on Friday to watch as crews prepared to load grain.
We are ready to export Ukrainian grain. We are waiting for signals from Turkey and the UN about the start of transportation. I believe it will start today or tomorrow.
Western envoys in Ukraine accompanied Zelensky to watch the deal go into effect. The captain of a cargo ship tasked with transporting the first grain shipment told Turkish media that they could set sail on Sunday at the earliest. But progress in Odessa hasn't slowed Russian attacks on the eastern and southern regions of Ukraine. The governor of the Donetsk region said on Friday that the city of Bakhmut had been heavily shelled. He said 4 people were killed, 5 others were injured, and that more than 30 houses and a kindergarten were damaged. Meanwhile, Russia has come under fire at the United Nations Security Council over its missile attack on the southern Ukrainian city of Odessa. Russian forces attacked the city's port on July 23rd, 1 day after a deal was signed to resume grain exports from Ukraine under the mediation of the UN and Turkey. Ambassadors from Western nations condemned the attack and urged Moscow to fully implement the deal on grain exports.
We also saw Russia's true character a few hours later when it launched a missile attack on the port of Odessa. Russia should allow grain and food to leave Odessa unharmed to feed a hungry world.
Dmitry Polyansky, Russia's first deputy permanent representative to the UN, defended the attack. He said that Russian troops were targeting a depot of weapons delivered by the U.S. And top-ranking officials from the U.S. and Russia have held talks for the first time since the invasion. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken says he called on Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov to comply with international commitments.
Blinken described the talks as frank and direct. He told Lavrov that Russia should keep its pledge to allow shipments of grain from Ukrainian ports.
It is important and vital that Russia make good on the commitments it's made to the world. As I made clear, we're looking to see that move forward as soon as possible.
Blinken also pointed out that Russia is trying to annex Ukrainian territory. He told Lavrov that the situation is unacceptable, and he urged Moscow to accept a U.S. proposal to release 2 American citizens detained in Russia. Russia's foreign ministry said Lavrov blamed the U.S. and NATO for providing weapons to Ukraine. He said that's prolonging the fighting and increasing the number of victims. He said Western sanctions have complicated the situation, including the export of Russian agricultural products.
Japan and the United States are hoping to solidify close ties in an unstable world. Their top diplomats and economic chiefs sat down in Washington for the first 2+2 talks of their kind.
Japan's Foreign Minister Hayashi Yoshimasa and Economy Minister Hagiuda Koichi met U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Commerce Secretary Gina Raimondo on Friday. They discussed ways to promote the rules-based international economic order and build more resilient supply chains for cutting-edge technologies.
The work that we did today, making clear together that our economic security is a vital component of our overall national security and well-being, I think just underscores the importance and the breadth and depth of our partnership.
I believe this serves as a strong message about the adaptability of the Japan-U.S. alliance in a rapidly changing global economy, and about our resolve to spearhead international cooperation in this area.
The talks appear to be in response to threats posed by China and Russia. A joint statement says Japan and the U.S. express deep concern about economic coercion and policies that undermine the economy. They say they will bolster supply chains of semiconductors, batteries, and key mineral resources, and they agreed to work on stabilizing food and energy supplies.
Hayashi gave a speech at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. He spoke about the situation in Ukraine while stressing that Japan intends to play a larger role in its alliance with the U.S. in the Indo-Pacific region.
What is happening in Ukraine must never be allowed anywhere in the world, including especially in the Indo-Pacific.
Hayashi called the Russian invasion of Ukraine an outrage that has shaken the very foundation of the free and open international order. Then, in an apparent reference to China, he said that a logic of brute force is gaining more traction over the rule of law.
There is an urgent need to strengthen the deterrence and response capability of the Japan-U.S. alliance. Japan intends to play a larger role in maintaining the balance.
Hayashi said it is necessary to keep all options open, including counter-strike capabilities. Now, heavy rain is expected on the Pacific side of Western Japan as atmospheric conditions grow unstable. Up to 250 millimeters of rain may fall in southern Kyushu and Shikoku over the 24 hours through Sunday morning. Weather officials say rain clouds are developing over western Japan as well as Mie Prefecture in central Japan. This is due to tropical storm Songda and damp air around a Pacific high-pressure system. Rising temperatures are causing unstable conditions in wide areas from western to northeastern Japan. Weather officials are urging residents to stay alert for mudslides, flooding, strong winds, high waves, lightning, and tornadoes. And those were the top stories for this hour.